One of the easiest ways to make money in crypto is through farming airdrops. And basically, every single part of it can be quite easy, which is why in this video, I want to take you from an absolute beginner to somebody who knows exactly what to do and how it all works. And I'm telling you guys right now that the amount of money you can make with this is actually pretty wild. Here are some of the biggest airdrops of 2023. Arbitrum at $2 billion. I believe we made $20,000 with the Arbitrum drop. Blur at $820 million, where my friend made, I think, $10 or $15 million. It's actually pretty crazy. Celestia at $700 million, and 𝗕𝗓𝗪, which just happened, at $300 million. And this could be that you've got only $10 to your name, only $100 to your name, taking the time to do one step, and boom, you get yourself $5,000, $6,000, or $10,000. But the craziest part is, if you don't act fast and you don't prepare for everything right now, you're gonna miss out on tons of money, as every single one of these airdrops has a cutoff date. And so the earlier you start, the better. And I'll also tell you that the earlier you start, very often the higher your reward will be, which is why I always say it is very helpful if you get your notifications on. I notice only 20% of the people that watch these videos have them on. A lot of people can't read it, but I'm just telling you right now, it's definitely worth doing. The more you wait, the more you are losing out. And I honestly believe this could be the make or break type of event for a lot of people, so you really want to act now. Having said that, I've already made a couple of introductory videos on this channel. I believe 2. And I did one airdrop guide a few months ago. And I'll tell you straight away, more tutorials are coming, because every single one of these airdrops is specific to a certain ecosystem. It's not literally an example I'm about to give, but it's close to it, where you should kind of relate what I'm about to say about these different ecosystems to, for example, phones, where not every single thing you can get on this phone, you can get on another phone. That might sound kind of vague, but the point here being, the tutorial I'm about to give you is for specific airdrops on something called Cosmos. And again, this has nothing to do with phones. I'm just giving an example. It would be like saying that this airdrop only being around Cosmos, it could be similar to an event only on iPhones, for example. So Android people are screwed only on iPhone. But once more, in reality, as has nothing to do with phones, I'm just saying that there are many more airdrops out there. For example, again, to compare, that you could get on your Solana phone or on your Android or on other platforms. Because in the crypto space, you also have various different platforms, and they are some of these crypto tokens, where, for example, the Solana ecosystem will have different airdrops than the Cosmos ecosystem, which will have different airdrops than the 𝗕𝗓𝗪. Those ones might have some overlap, but you get the idea. They will have different airdrops and thus also different guides. But all of them will be coming on this channel. And I'll tell you right away that there are actually only 3 steps with a lot of sub-steps that you gotta do in order to take part and be eligible, most likely, for a ton of airdrops. And I'll say them quickly for all the people that just want to get the information and do their own research. Number 1 is make sure you stake Atom in the Cosmos hub. Step number 2 is to basically look at everything built on Cosmos or with Cosmos and stake those coins too. We'll talk about that later. And then step number 3 would be to use every DApp and every ecosystem piece you can find in order to increase your chances of making money off of this airdrop season. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is the season for it. But now, let's dive into exactly how to do step 1, which is staking your Atom in the Cosmos hub. First of all, we're gonna need a Cosmos hub type of wallet. The one I personally like a lot is Leap Wallet, but there's actually 2 very good options, and the process will be very similar, which is Keplr Wallet. I also have this one installed, but I use it less often. And like I said, Leap Wallet, which for the most part I use. This is all about personal preference. Both of them will be able to get the job done, and on both, the process will be extremely similar. Anyway, to get yourself a Leap wallet, you can do this on your phone or on the website. Once you press Get Leap, you just get it on whatever browser you use. For example, Google Chrome or wherever. Like I said, also everything works if you're doing it on your phone. It ain't that hard. Once you've got the app, you've got the wallet. This video is not about how to make a wallet. Just go through the steps of whatever it says in that app or in that extension. Write your private key down, put in a little password, just go through those steps. And once you've done that, it should pop up as an extension over on the top right. And I've just made it a little bit bigger for you guys all to see, but it should look something along the lines of this right here. I understand a lot of it may be confusing, a lot of it may be difficult to understand, but trust me when I say that most of it will make sense in just a few minutes. But before we move on, if you've not done it yet, make sure you press that like button on this video, as it always takes a lot of effort to make these guides as easy as possible, and I gain nothing from it. Matter of fact, I personally think the more people that do this, the worse it is for everybody, because that means the rest get less money. But I still hope that this can kickstart your crypto journey, because I started this whole crypto journey by winning a crypto giveaway. And even though this is not fully a giveaway, as you still have to do some actions, I still think it will be able to change some people's lives. And I've made it sound easy because it really is that easy. It's scary just how easy this is, and sometimes it makes me afraid that when people make such easy money, they think it's everywhere, but it's not. This is a very unique chance in a very unique time, so grab it with both arms because you might never see chances like this again. The next step is that you need yourself an account on some crypto exchange. The one I personally use is Bybit. I've left a link for it down below because you can grab some juicy bonuses. It doesn't even state all the bonuses right here, because with the link down below, you can get significantly more. Here, for example, it says a $1,000 bonus or $5,000. With the link down below, it's $30,000 worth of free trading bonuses, and you can also get yourself a free $500 trade with the link down below. Anyway, over on your trading platform, you pick which one. I use Bybit, but I've left a couple of links down below. You got to head over to Spot and buy yourself some Atom. You just quickly type it in like this. You can see right here on Spot, it's this one right here, Atom. You're gonna need a couple. I'd personally recommend a couple $100 worth. You're not spending this, you're not losing it. It's just a matter of you holding this coin to be eligible for different airdrops. But we'll talk about that more as we go on with the guide. Once you've gone ahead and bought this Atom on whatever exchange you want, you can do that by, for example, Bybit, pressing market right here, and then putting in how many dollars worth. So let's say $200 worth, and then we press buy if I was logged in. Once we've done that, we have to go inside of our Leapfrog wallet, look at this address right here, copy it, then go over back to Bybit. I've quickly logged in to show you. Once you're in, you press assets, and then there's a little button that says withdraw right under the camera, but right here. And then just go look and press on whichever one of these ones your money is in. I'm gonna assume it's in Spot. Then look for Atom in that list. Press withdraw, and then copy the address that was in your Frog wallet. So this one right here, copy it into this section. For chain type, there's only one option, so you press Atom. Don't fill anything into this optional part, and the amount can be whatever you want to take out. The fee is very little, so you can also try twice. So for example, try $1 worth the first time, and then the second time put your real amount. Once you've done that, it'll show up right here. It'll just say how many dollars worth of Atom you've got. Anyway, I've decided to put $25 into the account so I can show you all the steps, but that's the most difficult part, I'd say. To actually get some Atom into your account is by far the hardest part of the process, and afterwards, I hope that things get easier. Like for example, how to stake, which was our #1 priority. If you're wondering, it's actually pretty simple, because you can see it right in front of you, right there. It says stake. Just press it. It'll ask you how much you want to stake and whether or not you really want to. You just press stake right there. Now comes a little trickier part. Which exact pool do you want to join? It's mostly personal preference, but I go by amount staked just to kind of sort them a little bit better. And for the most part, I always go with this one, SG1. Is this the best? I'm not sure, but 17 million is in there. It's the second biggest one, and it's got less of a fee than Coinbase has, so I usually stick with it. Perhaps this one, this no fee until 2025, could yield you slightly more, as basically for lending out your Atom, for delegating it to this pool, you get a 16.15% yearly return. So let's say we put one Atom in, it costs us 2 cents to do so, and the money that we'll make is roughly 0.16 Atom a year. So for only one, it's not very much worth it. I'd personally do it with at least $100, I think. Theoretically speaking, that means you get $16 a year. And we press review. Yeah, look over it. Oh, looks pretty good. Press stake. And it is now done, as you can see right there. If we now go to the stake tab again, you see we've got $10 staked, or about 1 atom, and in activity it'll also show up. We just delegated 1 atom, and theoretically speaking, that's all you needed to do, but then with probably like at least $100 worth or so to be eligible for some airdrops. That's it. Yeah, it's that simple. An example, you can see even in our wallet, it says, are you eligible for the Dimension airdrop? Now, if we take a look at this specific airdrop, which was called Dimension, that just opened up a little bit ago, we can see that one of the eligibility criteria was Cosmos. What specifically? Well, if you delegated what we just did, some atom on the Cosmos hub as of, or at least so before, December 19th, with at least 1, so, we did 1, but if we did this basically before December 19th, we would have gotten ourselves some free Dimension tokens, which potentially is a couple hundred, a couple thousand, or perhaps tens of thousands of dollars for absolutely free. And so that's as simple as I can make it. There have been multiple airdrops quite recently where all they required you to do was stake at least 1 atom, or $1 worth of atom, or $100 worth of atom, which I think is it's one of those 3 basically. And I just showed you the whole process. So that's the most important thing to do by far. To get into step number 2, right? Because there's 3 steps. It's kind of partially what it says right here. You can see it's under Cosmos, which is the ecosystem. There's a little thing that says Osmosis. Osmosis delegators is December 19th. Also got some tokens. Why and how? Well, if you've been kind of playing around with this 𝗕𝗓𝗪 wallet for a bit, you might notice there's a little button that shows a lot of different chains. And these are all connected, I'm going to call it, to Cosmos, and can all be used in the exact same wallet. But if you press either one, you can see your wallet changes ever so slightly. It doesn't start with Cosmo, it starts with OSMO. And if we go to Celestia, for example, it starts with Celestia. And if we go to Injective, it starts with Injective, or at least ING. If we go to Corium, it starts with Core, and I think you understand the picture right here. A lot of these have a different little start. Fetch starts with Fetch. Say starts with, you guessed it, Say. And these are just some of the most popular ones where a lot of cool airdrops are also going to play out. One that's also very popular is Neutron. It starts with Neutron. Anyway, so what we're going to want to do is stake some money on some of these. And personally, the most important one to go for is Osmosis. And I'd say the second most important one is Celestia. So I'm just going to show you guys how to do it for these specific 2. The rest, the process is nearly the same, but these 2 are by far most important. So pressing Osmosis, you'll notice the process for staking is the same once you get the Osmosis in there, and that's what I'm going to show you. But once you have it, which again, I'll show you how to get, you go to stake right there, press stake, just like we did before for Atom. Look for the biggest one, then look for the one with a high amount and high percentage. Yeah, this first one looks solid. So I would go with Cosmos Station and put in 1 or whatever, 100. You don't, whatever. Anyway, let us quickly go back to the Cosmos Hub and I'll show you what to do. Because we're going to use this IBC and this swap feature. I think theoretically speaking, you can do everything just from the swap feature alone, but I'll show you how to use both as it makes things simple. So just go ahead and press swap. It'll lead you to the 𝗕𝗓𝗪 bigger wallet, so to speak. Then on the top left, you press connect wallet. And obviously we've got Leap, so we connect our Leap wallet. I'll say just quickly, there are multiple ways to do this, but here's the easiest one. So that's why I'm showing it to you. You could, if you wanted to, also connect it with your mobile. If you're not doing this all on PC, it's this one right there. And so once you press that little button of connect wallet like we just did, what we're going to choose is to send money from Cosmos Hub Atom to Osmosis OSMO. So we're doing 2 things at once. First of all, we are switching the atom we have. We have, for example, $14 worth of atom here, 1.4 token, into Osmosis. But instead of keeping it on the Cosmos Hub, keeping it as a Cosmo address, like I said earlier, we are also sending it to a different chain, basically. So Osmosis, as you can see, this address starts with OSMO. So we're doing 2 things at once. We could also, if we wanted to, just go from the Cosmos Hub atom to Cosmos Hub, if we can find it, Osmosis, which would basically that IBC that I just told you guys about. So if we open up the wallet again, this IBC feature right here is a way to quickly send from the Cosmos Hub to, for example, a different hub. But in this case, it's not nice because we don't have that token yet. So swapping is easier, which is why I'm just showing you exactly what to do. Anyway, so you don't need all the back knowledge. It's just about practical applications. What we got to do is press osmosis in here, and we want to switch from atom to OSMO. Let's just do 1 for the sake of this tutorial here. It's going to cost us a little bit in terms of a transaction fee. I think this is about what? A couple cents probably that this costs. And so we press review. You see it says it takes 1 signature. That's fine. It'll give you a pop-up. You're going to say approve. Now we're just waiting it out a little bit. And this could take like a minute. Could. So don't worry if it takes 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Maybe it's your internet connection. Maybe your computer is slow. Maybe the chain is very congested. Just give it a few minutes. Get yourself a little cup of coffee and come back. I went to get myself some mango. And let's say about a minute later, maybe 30 seconds later, it was done. And now, if we open up our wallet, just quickly made it big again so you guys can see. If we look at the Cosmos hub, right? It does not showcase that we have multiple assets. We only have 1 token in here, some atom, about 0.5 worth. If we now, however, go to osmosis, you can see we've also got ourselves some osmosis in here. And now what we want to do is go to stake. Yet again, stake, like I said before, pick our provider. So Cosmos Station, for example, and stake some osmosis. I'm just going to do 1 for the sake of comparison or for the sake of the tutorial, but most likely I would say do at least $100 worth because this is basically like passive income and you can always get your money back out. It's not stuck in there forever or anything like that. Let's see here. I just did 2.5. I think perhaps with 1 there is an issue. Maybe it's too little. I don't know. Don't care. Doesn't matter. I think that was $2.5 worth that we did anyway, or like $3. Oh, it is actually $4, but now it's staked. It was as easy as that. And theoretically speaking, that's all we needed to do to be eligible for the Dimension airdrop. And this is all you need to do to be eligible for at least some airdrops. This is step 1 and step 2. And the only way I can extrapolate this is to say, instead of when we just here sent from the Cosmos hub to osmosis, we could also send, for example, some to some like Celestia. So we, for example, put 0. Because we're almost running out of money, 0.1 atom we sent to Celestia, review, and again, we have to make something sure. We have to make sure it's on Celestia as a chain, but that we're also sending the Celestia token. Now with Celestia specifically, you don't actually have any other choice. You can't mess this up, but I'm just saying it as a precaution. So once you press Celestia and we do 0.1, so $1 worth, review, proceed. It'll take, again, a little minute after we approve it. So let's just come back in about, 15 seconds. One thing you might notice, if you're a keen observer, you would have noticed that this transfer has a couple different steps, and it goes through osmosis. Now, we're not going to get into that today too much because it makes things more difficult. But just know that osmosis, you can have some more money on because you can basically use that as a transfer hub. If you go to their website, for example, and you connect your wallet yet again, what we just did in that Leapfrog wallet, can also partially be done here, but here you're gonna have to pay a little bit more attention to chains, as for example, it's not too relevant. You've got the most important steps. Step number 1, know how to use the Cosmos hub to stake your atom. Step number 2, know how to use this app, this wallet, to stake osmosis or things like Celestia. If you've already forgotten or you need some baby steps, it's fine, don't worry about it. We go to the wallet, go to Celestia right there. We have ourselves $1. You probably need a little bit more. Go to stake, press stake. Select by amount stake. This is just personal preference. Look for a good percentage that is also pretty trustworthy. Go looks pretty good. We put a specific amount into it. In this case, I have a little bit too little to actually maybe do this. Perhaps, I'm not so sure because it's so little money. Perhaps it's too little. No, it can still be done. Okay, so we are just staking some Celestia. As you can see, we've got less than $1 staked. But that's literally it for like most of the airdrops. To be eligible, those were the basic steps. So if you've got this covered, you're like very much there. That's why I said getting your initial money in might be most difficult because the rest is basically the same for everybody. Getting your money out of the exchange though is sometimes different for different people. But now comes step number 3, which again gets a little bit more difficult, which is why I'll say right now, make sure you press that like button, make sure you put that notification bell on, and make sure you keep tuning back into the channel. Because I will most likely make updated versions of this airdrop tutorial with expansions, with more detailed explanations, and with different opportunities. For example, I got 2 or 3 more guides coming up over the next few days. But for this step number 3, things will change over the next couple of weeks or months. So you have to check back in to see what else you can do to hopefully get yourself some free money. Because theoretically speaking, All that step 3 entails is you doing the steps that we just did for Osmosis and Celestia. For others like Injective or Stargaze, again, we were to go to swap some Injective in and stake it. It's literally the same process over and over. I'm not going to show you again because it's so simple, and do the same for as many as you want. Theoretically speaking, $1 in a couple is enough, but these are the 5 that I've personally got my eyes on the most. Say is also something a lot of people are excited about, but it has no APY. But if you've done what I just said for a couple of the ones, so for Cosmos, Osmosis, Celestia, Injective as a baseline, you should be good for a lot. And as time progresses on things like Injective, there are going to be a multitude of different ways to increase your chances to get some sort of airdrop by interacting with specific apps on that network. So an example could be there's a difference between holding some Osmo, so having Osmo in your wallet, versus staking it because now you're delegating it to a party and interacting with the governance, etc. Versus again, using the Osmosis swap feature on their website. Theoretically speaking, those are 3 different things, which all 3 could be a tick on a box on whether or not you're going to get your airdrop. So I'll explain better. Let's say we're talking about Atom. There's no swap like you've got on Osmosis's website, because that's literally what Osmosis exists for. So the only 2 boxes you could theoretically speaking tick with the guide I've just made you is having Atom in your wallet and staking some Atom, because we're doing both. For Injective, theoretically speaking, we have 0 of the 2 boxes because we have none in our wallet and we have nothing staked. We've also made 0 transactions on Injective. Then again, on Cosmos, we made how many? A couple transactions, I think like 3, because we kept sending money out. So that's a few transactions, and so forth and so on. You're just going to have to use this network as much as possible because it's relatively cheap to do so. It only costs like cents, and every single piece here could earn you a significant yield. It's hard to say which exact part is going to be that airdrop giver, but I know for a fact that staking, the ones I just mentioned, those 3 at least, could result in some very juicy drops. But, ladies and gentlemen, I've got more of these videos coming. This is by far the easiest guide I'll ever make, and the one you should do right now. Just take about 20 minutes. Do this real quick. Even if it's just like $10 in total, it is definitely worth doing. Some of the other tutorials are going to be a little bit more difficult, but potentially also way more money. But it's just a waste if you don't make money on this one. That's why I'm saying go ahead. Make sure you press that like button if you enjoyed this tutorial. If something is still vague, something you still don't understand, let me know in the comment section down below. Hopefully next video will be even easier then, and at least then I know what things were vague for the next tutorials. But yeah, this is by far the most important one, the most juicy one, and hopefully I get to help some people. So yeah, stick around the channel if you want to see more of these guides. And I really think if you guys act quick, there's going to be some juicy airdrops over the next few weeks. So good luck. That's all I'll say. And if you guys want to get more trading content, we also have a second channel called Dusty Trades. A link is down below for that one. That's how I'll end it off.